The other topic that I want to talk about before we get to shout-outs today is something that actually came up in the chat earlier today before the podcast had started. All right. I've noticed as of late, we have a few newcomers to the streams, a few people who have maybe come on by for a little bit, or now either they're newcomers and they're really enjoying the content, or there's people who maybe have previously watched but kind of from the sidelines, but now they're choosing to be more vocal, you know, in the chat and step up and be more of a participating party, which is great. And what a lot of people have been saying, well, not a lot of people, what a few people have been saying is, you know, obviously, hey, I'm a newcomer to your stuff, but I noticed that I can't even go on YouTube and like search for your content because it's all like detractor shit. It's all insulting stuff about you. You know, I can't actually find your content anymore by searching. It seems like if I come to your channel and we sit here and I can find the contents here, but like there's no way to even like use YouTube search or anything to find anything about DSP or DSP gaming or anything like that. But it's weird because you've been around for 16 years. This channel, DSP Gaming, has been around over 14 years. This channel, DSP Gaming, has over 65,000 videos on it. And this channel has, I think I want to say it's over 400 million views or more than that. I actually don't know the total views. I would have to look that up. I'm curious where it shows that. I know there's a page that shows that. I just don't know where. But yeah, like this channel has been around for a very long time. Has had millions of people around the world enjoy its content, right? And you might wonder, so how are you where you are today, right? Why is it that your average stream gets like 300 viewers, your average videos get under 1,000 views? You know, it's a simple answer, but to actually elaborate on that, right, you have to look deeper. All right, the simple answer is this. YouTube changes itself every few years to chase a trend, okay? And sadly, for people like me who are people who made a career as a content creator slash YouTuber slash video creator, whatever you want to call me on YouTube, either you chase the trends, right? And you follow the trends, and you then ride the trends to popularity, or you don't. If you chase the trends, you have to constantly be changing who you are, reinventing the content you make, and essentially being whatever's popular in the moment. Because at a moment's notice, YouTube can literally have someone go like this. Change the whole site. And now what used to show up in search doesn't. What used to get pushed to the forefront of a related video is gone. And they take a nice big broom and they take everyone else who used to actually get views on YouTube and they just sweep you right under the rug. All right? And then you're gone. And the good news for me is very simple. I've been around for 16 years. I have a knowledge base and a viewer base. People know who DSP is. Now, most people know me for negative reasons, but some people actually know me as a longtime YouTuber who is still here to this day making content daily that I love to make. So I have an installed viewer base that no matter where I go and what I do, people follow me and want to see what I'm up to. I'm very lucky in that regard, because if it weren't for that, I don't know how I would get viewership and make a living. That's the God's honest truth of it, is YouTube has changed so much in the last 16 years over and over and over that anytime that you try to adjust to the trend, then they change again, and then you, oh, well, I guess I got to change again. I got to change again. I'm one of the people who has very rarely ultimately changed what I do. There was two times, I would say, in my history as a creator that I made giant sweeping changes to the content that I was making, because basically it was either I was going to do it or I was going to be outdated, or it wasn't going to work anymore because of the changes YouTube had made. And we're going to talk about that. But for the most part, if you look at me and the content that I'm making, all right, it's what I want to do. I'm someone who, when I started on YouTube in 2008, which is when I actually started actively posting up raw gameplay clips. And by the way, that's exactly what it was. It was raw gameplay clips. It wasn't playthroughs. It wasn't full Let's Plays. It was just highlights of a game, moments in a game that I thought were interesting. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, it's YouTube Shorts. It's the montages people make now. That's what I started making on YouTube back in the day. And then within a few months of making that kind of content, I was told, no, we want full playthroughs. So that's what I started doing. Okay? And so back then, I never, ever, ever intended that anything that I did on YouTube was going to be a way to make a living, anything that was going to get me any kind of popularity or prominence or be known on the internet. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, I'm just going to dick around and make some videos. You know, I was inspired by guys like the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic, who basically were guys with zero production budget, but talent. And they just wanted to make funny videos for the internet, and that's what they did, despite the fact that it didn't look great. You could tell there was no budget behind them. There was not giant production teams working on it. It was just kind of silly grassroots style videos that were funny as shit. And inspired by them, I said, I just want to kind of do the same thing, but with games. I want to play new video games and do real commentary on the game as I play it. I don't want to take it super seriously. I want to dick around, and I want to be drinking and doing silly shit. You know what I'm saying? It was never meant to be a situation where I was going to turn it into something professional. It was just supposed to be for fun, a hobby. And it took off, right? It did back in the day. It took off. People absolutely loved the videos and wanted more. Didn't matter that the visual quality was shit. The audio sounded like it was garbled and being flushed down a toilet. People still enjoyed just kind of hanging out with me and enjoying games for what they are, as silly as that is. All right, so that's how I started. I wasn't someone who went into YouTube with the mentality that I'm going to make it big, I'm going to make a job out of it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And because of that, my passion for games, I feel, comes through. But because of that also, I find myself as a very, very more obstinate and stubborn person when it comes to changing my content for trends. I couldn't tell you how many times, oh, YouTube's changing. You've got to do the new thumbnail with your face on it going like that. And you have to have the clickbait titles on all of your videos. And your videos have to be of a certain length and have to look a certain way in order to get traction, right? Oh, you need to ride every trend. So when there's a ice bucket challenge, you've got to be doing it. When there's a new memeable game out that everyone's playing, you've got to play it. If you don't do these key critical things, you're just going to fall by the wayside. People are going to call you a dinosaur. People aren't going to care about you and your content. You've got to ride those waves of popularity. Right now, you've got to be making political content, because right now the election is coming up in the United States. You should absolutely be doing commentary and political content this year. Even if it means you don't do it after the election, you've got to do it now, because that's what's hot right now. Everyone wants to be doing that, right? And I can keep telling you, oh, make your videos longer, make your videos shorter. I kid you not. It's changed over the years. Sometimes your favorite if you're longer, sometimes your favorite if you're shorter. Well, what's the fucking rule of thumb here? You got to make YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are going to propel your channel into the stratosphere, okay? So here's the reality of it. There are people who basically look at YouTube as a moneymaker. And that's it. Maybe they have some passion for the videos they make, or at one point they did. But what ended up happening was they chased a dream that they wanted to make it big on YouTube. And these people turned YouTube into a grind rather than something that there's fun or where their creativity and passion comes through. It's just a grind of content. Okay? And the people who have that mentality basically are constantly stressed out, because they're always chasing that new algorithm change, that new trend, that new thing that's going to get them some clickbait today, so they have something to talk about and they'll actually get popularity on YouTube. I have literally never done that in the 16 years that I've been a content creator. So what ended up happening was, at the very beginning, it was a hobby that wasn't taken seriously. I got popular. Then I got laid off from my office job. People felt for me, excuse me, because they basically said, we feel bad for this guy. He's the underdog. He doesn't have any sponsorship or anything. And this guy's now getting laid off from his job, and we like his content. Let's support it. So, boom. I get partnered with Machinima. Next thing you know, my videos are getting crazy views, right? I've got playthroughs with millions of views on parts, which is insane to think about. Just a guy doing raw playthrough content getting millions of views. These videos are hitting the algorithm and being searched on and found over and over. Anyone for like 5 years who typed in Spider-Man video game, my video was top 3. So my video would immediately I was getting tens of thousands of views, residual views on old videos every month. Like, no exaggeration, the views that I get every month now on this channel is equivalent to like the residual views I would get on like 10 videos 15 years ago. Well, not 15 years ago, probably about 12 years ago. Yeah, that's how popular it was to be in the YouTube algorithm. Was amazing. You didn't have to work that hard because all your old videos would get tons of views. Not only would you make content that would bring people to your channel every day for new games and content, but the residual views were outstanding, you know? So for me, I never really changed. I stayed making the same kind of content that I always liked, right? Now, what did change? There were two pivotal changes in my history on YouTube. In 2013, I went direct capture and started doing live streaming, which is essentially what everybody else was doing, right? And then in 2017, I changed from being a more on-demand focused content creator to being a live streamer fully with interaction with you guys live on the streams. Those were my two key changes in DSP history, where my content completely kind of evolved into something different because I had to change with the times, correct? And so you could say, yes, Phil did change just like everybody else, but I didn't do everything else that was necessary there like everyone else did. So what you'll find is that there's YouTubers who are popular, but you notice they're always playing the viral game. They're always doing the next trend. They're always talking about what's supposed to be hip and cool, instead of actually having like a focus. There's no focus, just all over the fucking place. But that's fine, right? Because they have a stream with 4,000 people on it every day just blabbing. They can't have a conversation with anyone in their chat because it's going with a bunch of mindless people. And that's okay, because that's what they wanted. Like, that's what they wanted out of YouTube. They wanted that level of notoriety, popularity, where they are making dough. They're getting that bag because they're riding the trends. They're good, right? Oh, they don't have to worry about that shit. I'm not like that. I'm the guy who, like, when I started, was of a mentality that I'm just doing this for fun. I just want to do stuff that I think people will get a laugh out of. And here I am today, you know, in 2024, and it's like, you know, do I still to some extent feel that way? Yes. But I absolutely feel that for me, it's more important to make meaningful content that people enjoy but is not harmful. All right. And I think that's also one of the major things that's happened on YouTube that's just unfortunate, is that harmful content has come to the forefront and become some of the more popular content on YouTube that YouTube, through its algorithms, pushes. Okay. Just to talk about some of these algorithm changes that YouTube has done over the years. Originally, there was no focus on the algorithm. It was just get views. So if you got some people watching your content, you'd hit the algorithm on a trend up, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in the related videos, you're in the recommended videos, and all your videos would explode. And that's how it was for me back in the day. And then I remember they changed the algorithm to favor longer videos. They wanted videos that were longer than a certain time frame because they felt that if the video was longer, there could be more ads or could get better ads. Like, for example, let's say your video is 10 minutes long. Well, is someone going to watch a 3-minute video ad on a 10-minute video? Probably not. Now, would you watch a 3-minute video ad on a 30-minute video? Well, that's a lot more proportionate. So yeah, you might. So that's what YouTube started doing, is changing the algorithm to favor things that would favor different styles of videos. That didn't favor my content. So that was really the first major change that made it so that my content stopped being pushed to the forefront. Then YouTube wanted to favor videos that were way more higher production value. Things that had the thumbnail, the clickbait title. Because again, they thought that that would bring more people to the table to watch than just, say, a raw gameplay video or a quick game review of something, right? And so that started getting more focus, and that started getting more push on YouTube, okay? And I could go through all these trends because there's been a ton of these trends that have happened over the years. Watch time and engagement factors and things like that. For me, I've had some unique challenges because there was a couple times over the years where sadly people literally broke the law to do false takedowns and copyright strikes against my channel. YouTube doesn't get involved in that because their mindset is this: we only get involved if there's a lawsuit. And if there's a lawsuit involved, then we'll get our legal team and everything involved. Otherwise, we don't give a shit about anything. We just, you know, if people are going to hit you with a copyright strike, we're going to likely grant it unless we can find a blatant way to say that it's false. Like, let's say it's complete misinformation that's fed into their system and it doesn't make sense, right? But for the most part, they just grant nonsense. And it's dumb because they just grant false nonsense because they don't want to get involved or be legally liable for something. So there were multiple times during my run here on YouTube where people hit my channel with false copyright strikes. I had to then remove content from my channels to prevent my channel from being shut down. And actually what happens on YouTube, when you remove content from your channel and it results in a dip in views, which it did, I had to remove something like millions of, I think it was like 3 or 4 million views I had to remove from my channel because of the podcast, not the podcast, the pre-streams I used to do. Okay, each pre-stream every day would get like 3,000-4,000 views. Okay, that was over a decade, was about a decade ago. Yeah, about 2015. So about 9 years ago, my actual pre-streams would get like 3,000-4,000 views a day. Now add that up to like 2 years, so that's millions of views. So what I ended up having to do was delete all those videos, and when I did, guess what? My channel left the algorithm. It literally said, well, DSP Gaming will no longer show up in the algorithm anymore. Because obviously if he's deleting that many views, there's something wrong with the channel. That's how they treated it. It doesn't make sense because I willingly removed the videos to prevent false copyright strikes, but they treated me like I did something wrong. And it irrevocably changed my channel where I can't get my videos in search anymore. For example, Spider-Man Web of Shadows, or Spider-Man, excuse me, not Web of Shadows, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Used to be a playthrough that whenever you search for Spider-Man video game on YouTube, it would show up in the top 5 videos because it has over 1 million views. In fact, I think it has like 2-3 million views. Now you just can't find the video anymore. It doesn't exist. You have to specifically say DSP Gaming, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, playthrough part 1, then it'll come up. If you search Spider-Man video game, you will not get any of my content ever. It's as if all those videos pre that copyright strike fiasco were just erased from YouTube search, like they don't exist anymore. Okay, so these are videos that I used to get, no exaggeration, tens of thousands of views a month on because of the algorithm, and they were just erased. So imagine that. Imagine getting probably 500,000 or more views every month just as your legacy videos, and then any new content you made was adding. So that's why at some points I was making millions upon millions of views. There was one point I was making 10 million views a month. I want you to think about that. 10 million views in a month on gameplay videos, right? So with the things that happened, I was just destroyed from being relevant. You can't find DSP anymore. Now what ended up happening on top of that was YouTube again changed their algorithms. Instead of it being about video length or stuff like that, they started to do with engagement. They started to do with other factors. So think of it this way. In one day, I was releasing 10 gameplay videos of a new game. Okay? Each part's going to get a certain amount of views, a certain amount of likes, a certain amount of comments. A detractor releases one video of making fun of me playing that game in that day. All right? And that video is only one video, but it's longer than any of my gameplay videos. So it has the engagement and that long form factor that YouTube's looking for in the algorithm. And it's basically going to get more views. Because think of it. One person is going to watch 5-10 videos, and each video gets a few thousand views because it's a playthrough. But that negative video, people are going to go and watch it and then come back to it, watch it again, or they're going to click and resume their view, and that counts as a second view. It's a longer video. So the longer hateful montage about me ends up getting more engagement, more views, more clicks, and is more favored by the YouTube algorithm than the raw content that it's based upon. Is it better? Not necessarily. It's for a different audience. Someone who's watching the raw playthrough and likes it versus someone who's there just to make fun of the person doing the raw playthrough and doesn't like the person, right? But the negative video, because of the basis of the way it's created, it's longer form, it's negative, it's clickbaity, it's got people liking it because they're fucking little loser idiots, it's gonna get more traction than a raw playthrough. So, did I change? Did I change my formula to be in line with what YouTube did? No. Why would I change who I am or what I do or what I love, right? At one point, it was favored. At one point, doing playthroughs and enjoying games and doing raw streams was favored on YouTube. But all the algorithm changes they've made over the years and everything have completely changed that, right? In addition to that, now look at YouTube, modern YouTube today. So not only are you in competition with this algorithm, that's trying to push stupid, clickbaity, drama, longer videos down your throat. But then in addition to that, you got to compete with YouTube Shorts, which doesn't even make sense. YouTube Shorts in themselves are a farce because people act like YouTube Shorts will help your channel. They do not. If you are a long-form content creator or someone who makes on-demand style content and videos, YouTube Shorts do not help your channel in any way, shape, or form. You can have a short that goes viral and gets millions of views. It will not bring any views to your channel unless your entire channel is YouTube Shorts, because think about how dumb this is. A YouTube Short is a very short-form, digestible video, correct? So people who like that video, what else are they going to be looking for? A 2-hour video documentary? A half-an-hour gameplay clip? A 5-hour archived live stream? No, they're going to be looking for another short-form, digestible video. So when you get a viral, short, and then they go to your channel and they're like, oh, there's basically nothing else here besides other content, it doesn't help your channel at all. No one will click on your other videos. That actually now people are having the statistics. They're looking at this and they're saying shorts don't help your channel at all. All they do is bring people to watch more shorts. So if all you do is make YouTube Shorts, then shorts will help you. Outside of that, they don't help anything. In addition, YouTube Shorts make almost no revenue whatsoever. You can have a 1 million view short and make like $100. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone focus on that? It's because they copied TikTok. YouTube today is so bad, all they do is they chase trends that other sites are already known for to try to make it their own. First, they wanted to be Twitch, so they made YouTube Gaming. Then they just gave up on it. And then they wanted to be TikTok, so they made YouTube Shorts. So what's the next trend? And the problem is every time they do a trend, everyone else suffers. What about the people on YouTube who've been making a living on this site, for over a decade and rely on the site to work and rely on a viewer base? Oh, that's all gone now because now we're favoring this instead. So your content brushed under the rug so we can fucking focus on this instead. Like, yeah, but you're an idiot. What they're doing, they just constantly keep shooting themselves in the foot. And instead of focusing on what actually would give their site long-term longevity and support, they chase a new hot trend. It's like the people in charge are idiots who don't understand what made their site popular. What made YouTube popular? Dependability. When you go to YouTube, it works. There's other competitors, they try, they fail because you go there, it won't load, it buffers, it crashes. YouTube always works. YouTube has playlists that actually work. YouTube has functionality that other sites don't have. Higher bandwidth in order to stream at a higher bitrate, higher resolution so you can have higher quality videos. That's what YouTube has always succeeded on. But instead of focusing on the things that people go there for, they try to bring in other fucking things that other people already came up with. It doesn't make sense how they focus on that nonsense. It's like they're all over the place. They have ADD. I'm here. No, just focus on the things that worked and make them better. When they announced YouTube Gaming, people were excited, and then they literally did nothing to make it work. They added no features. They did nothing to make anyone want to come here and stream gameplay. So they fucked it up. Why? Because they were on to the next trend already. They were, got to work on shorts now, right? So this is the crazy thing is, you look at a channel like mine, right? I've been here since 2010. Over 400 million views. Last time I checked, I actually don't even know how many views this channel has at this point. I know it was like over 400 million at one point. I don't even know where you click to. Does anyone even know where you go to find that statistic of like total views? I can't remember. Maybe if you go to analytics and I go to lifetime or something. Lifetime. 474 million views. 474 million views on my channel, DSP Gaming alone. Keep in mind, I have other channels, but that's this channel. And the height of my popularity was late 2011 into early 2012, with some peaks and valleys, but mostly late 2011 into early 2012. Again, why? I just started doing it as a job. I was seen as the ultimate underdog, right? Oh, Phil has shirked corporate America. He's done. He's making it for himself. He's the true rebel who just makes content and isn't afraid to say and do whatever he wants in his videos. That was definitely the height of my popularity. And then what ended up happening was just an endless downward trend, because YouTube just kept changing and pushing guys like me to the side. And again, I don't want this is not just me saying this. I want you to understand that. There's people out there who have been making content as long as me, and in some cases even longer. People who have more subs than me. People who have overall more views than me. They used to bring in, no exaggeration, anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000 viewers a video. And now they struggle to get 10,000 views a video making the exact same kind of content. They haven't changed. It's not because they're hated. They're not me. They're not my situation. They're not hated. They just can't get views anymore because YouTube won't allow their videos to be found. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's just, that's life. So when you come to DSP Gaming, if you're a newcomer, because I know we have a few relative newcomers who've been by recently, and they're like, you know, I just don't get it. Everyone hates on you or whatever. When I hang out in your chat, it seems like it's a fun time. We enjoy each other's company. You know, seems like a good place to be, right? But here you are. You have over 200,000 subscribers. You have 400 million views. But in the modern day, you're so small, and wonder what happened. This is exactly what happened. It was a combination of YouTube just keeps changing the rules without really even being transparent about it and telling anyone. And every time they do this, you have to be willing to completely change the style of content you make. So first, I would have had to start making more highly produced clickbaity title, thumbnail content. Then I would have had to increase the length of my videos. Then I would have had to start live streaming as early as humanly possible. Then I would have had to start doing these kind of news stories, drama stories, topics like that to stay pertinent so I could stay in the algorithm. Then I would have had to start doing interactive live streams as soon as they started monetizing them and things like that. Then as soon as YouTube Shorts hit, I would have had to be a shorts creator where I'm pumping out tons of shorts a week. Like, that's the way to stay on the top. And I don't care about any of that shit. I never did. Never did I ever go into YouTube saying, this is going to be my job today. This is going to be what I want to do for my life, is I want to actually make content for YouTube as a job. No, not once did I ever say that. I said, you know, I like to hang out with people and share my thoughts on games, you know, have some fun. That's what it's always been. For me, it's been fun with work, or turn that fun into work, right? That's amazing. And that's really why to this day, I absolutely love my job, because everything I do here is fun to me. I'm not here feeling like, oh my God, this is such a boring grind and I hate it. This podcast right now where I get to share my feelings with you about everything is awesome. I love this, and people watch this and enjoy it, and that's cool, right? Imagine a job where you're just working 9 to 5. You're just doing stuff for a paycheck. You don't feel like you're appreciated, right? It's the opposite for me. I actually feel very appreciated with my work. I know people come by, they hang out, they support it because they like me and they like the content, and that feels good to me. That's why I still do it. I don't care that I'm only getting a few hundred views on a video. I don't care that I'm only getting overall a couple thousand views on a stream. It doesn't bother me. As long as we're all having a good time and you're finding meaning in it enough to keep coming back and watch and support the content, why would I care? But that's the thing with YouTube is, if you wanted to remain pertinent, you had to care and keep changing. So you literally could never just be the same person on YouTube. You always had to be changing, and that doesn't make sense at all, right? It doesn't. Again, when I came into this, there was no making money on YouTube. From the years of 2008 to 2011, I couldn't even monetize any videos. I made videos for nearly 3 years and didn't make any money on them. I was taking the money that I had for my office job to buy all the games and finance everything that I did on YouTube as a hobby, just because I loved it, not because I saw dollar signs or I want, you know what I mean? And that's why when YouTube became more commercial and became more overproduced and it followed the trend, I was like, this is disgusting to me. That's not what I'm interested in. That's not what I came here for. I'm very lucky that I get to still be someone who makes a living on YouTube, because there's lots of people like me who have had to leave. They didn't have the dedicated fan base, the people who kept coming back and supporting me and watching me no matter where I went and what I did. They sadly, they fell out of prominence and relevancy, and then no one cared about them and they couldn't maintain anymore, you know? Lucky for me, when I was big, I didn't overexpand. I had plans. I was going to rent out an office. I was actually going to hire employees. I was going to have someone who's going to be like my video editor and was going to take the raw playthroughs and edit them together and do things like put all the metadata into the videos as they uploaded. And then I was going to have a filming crew where we were going to be filming skits and things. I'm serious. I had these plans that I was going to start. I was going to have John Rambo and we're going to be doing stuff together and stuff like that in like a studio setting Like, this was all of my plans that I was actually going to do back in the day. Thank God I didn't, because likely what would have happened is I would have completely invested in that, and then YouTube would have just changed, and that would have been the end of all of it, right? And how am I going to continue on if I had done that? If I had overexpanded and done stuff like that? Thankfully, I mostly relied it all on me. That it was always me doing all the work, and it was all on me, and it was just kind of a small-time operation. Honestly, that's kind of when I saw in 2014, already my channel had been on a decline because of these changes on YouTube. This was before everyone hated me, by the way. So I knew, I was like, I saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, well, if I'm going to move out of Connecticut, it's now or never. Because if I don't get out of here now, likely this stuff is going to change hugely, you know? And it did. So thankfully, I did get the hell out of Connecticut when I did, or else I would be stuck there. Now I've happily been living in Washington for 10 years. I have a beautiful family. I'm happy. But that's because I made that very drastic change at that time. I said, move now or I'm stuck. And I did, and things have been better because of it. But, man, you know, again, can you imagine someone who, like, I did a long-term investment in YouTube because I was popular in 2010 or 2012, and I expanded, I did a studio, and there's people who did that. I mean, look, the Creatures did that, and there's other groups as well. This is what they did, and then what happened? It all crashed. Because YouTube just keeps deciding they want to change everything for everyone, and now your videos are gone. Like I said, all my old legacy videos used to bring in 500,000 to 1 million views a month just on the legacy videos. They get 0 views. 0. Like right now, for the first time in ages, my Fallout 4 playthrough hit the algorithm, and part 1 has 33,000 views. As a result of that, probably a few hundred people went and checked out my old Fallout playthroughs, and that's it. No one goes and watches my old catalog anymore. Only the most dedicated people who, like, have been along for the ride will go back and watch old stuff. Outside of that, it just sits there stagnant and no one cares, and it's YouTube's fault. Because YouTube brushed me out of the algorithm and doesn't want my stuff to be found because they want to prominently push forward the memesters, the popular kids, the kids who they think are going to sell more ad space, while all the content that people want to find or used to be able to find can't be found anymore. People used to be able to just go to my channel page and search for a video and find it. It doesn't even exist anymore. They've removed that functionality. You can't find anything on DSP Gaming anymore. It's gone. So that's just a little history of YouTube and what's going on. And again, this is not just my story. This is a lot of people now who've been around for a long time. And basically they're like, well, I guess it's it. You know, it's been a nice ride, 15, 18, 20 years on YouTube. But if you're someone who, you know, was making a living doing it, likely it's become so much increasingly more difficult recently, especially these last few years. And if you're not going to be popularly following every trend, you will never get any prominence on YouTube anymore. If you're not a toxic drama queen making crap content for a dumb audience who literally doesn't have a brain cell in their fucking head, it's very, very hard to get any kind of prominence on YouTube and get any kind of relevancy. Even for those, and again, this is not me, even for those who are making supposedly really meaningful, informative videos and have been doing this for so long, cannot get any views on their content anymore. It's not their fault. Their content didn't dip in quality. YouTube changed for the worse, and now this is what the site has become. So anyway, by the way, FYI, if you ever are interested in finding something of mine on YouTube, I do not recommend you use YouTube search at all because it will not work. Here's what you do. Use a third-party search engine. I'm serious. So let's say, for example, you wanted to watch, let's say you wanted to watch a gem of a playthrough. Like, let's say you wanted to watch me play Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Do not go on YouTube. You have to go to a third-party search engine. So go to, like, a Bing, or go to, what was the one someone had said? There's an Opera search engine there is now. There's a few different ones, Opera GX. So go to a third-party search engine and literally type in YouTube, DSP Gaming, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. My playthrough will come up. Yeah. Because they don't follow the bullshit algorithm that Google and YouTube does. They don't care about engagement and fucking bullshit. They just find what you're searching for. So you'll actually find my content again. If you're interested in it, and then you can search related searches, you'll get it all. You'll get all my content again. But you cannot use Google. Google has irrevocably changed and fucked up their search to favor bullshit content to pay for ads instead of actual meaningful content that would bring more people to the site. So, yeah, there you go. All right, that's my recommendation.